Gyms near me hiring personal trainers. I still cannot find a way to rationalize this pricing no matter how hard I try. This is what I know could be the next big thing. How this will probably be the trade of the year, and I'm starting to get a little bit more short term and a little bit more aggressive with the trade. Let me explain. I asked ChatGPT to give me a summary of the Fed press conference today. Let's see how it did. At the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee's rate decision and press conference today, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell announced a pause in interest rate hikes, keeping the federal funds rate at a level between 5 to 5.25%. This marked a change in policy, as the Federal Reserve had raised rates 10 times in a row since March 2022, reportedly the fastest pace in 4 decades, in an attempt to lower inflation. During the press conference, Powell explained the rationale behind the decision to hold interest rates steady. He mentioned that the decision is a pause in the interest raising campaign to combat inflation. He emphasized the resilience of the U.S. labor market, tighter credit conditions, and expressed concerns about the banking system turmoil and commercial real estate market. I'm glad he did this. We also heard other Fed members, such as Yellen, say there'll be more consolidation within the banking sector. What does that mean? Well, it means there's going to be probably more banks failing. Lots of people say, oh, the banking crisis is over. No, it's not. And I'm glad that he's acknowledging that, because I see a lot of people across the social media say, oh, this is no longer an issue. Yeah, right. Despite this pause, Powell suggested that nearly all FOMC members expect a further tightening, indicating that there may be more rate hikes in the near future. Powell also noted that he doesn't foresee a rate cut until inflation comes down significantly, which he predicts could take a couple of years. He asserted that it would be appropriate to cut rates as such time as inflation is coming down really significantly, mentioning that not a single person on the committee wrote down a rate cut for this year, nor does he think it is likely to be appropriate. Investors are anticipating a 61.5% chance of the Federal Reserve hiking rates by a quarter point at its July meeting, according to the CME Fed Watch tool. Powell's announcement to pause interest rate hikes is seen as a breather to assess how the economy is shaping up 15 months into their fight against rapid inflation. The central bank is expected to closely monitor economic conditions before making any further decisions. I've got to say, ChatGPT kind of killed it. I mean, honestly, it's a pretty good summary, not gonna lie. So I guess that's it for this weekly report. ChatGPT's taking my job. I guess I'm going to bed. Gyms near me hiring personal trainers. Not yet, ChatGPT. Not yet. So let's reflect on how the market reacted to the news. Remember, lots of people were saying that we've already seen all the rate hikes, and many people were even looking for cuts around the corner. I wasn't in that camp. I thought it was a little nonsensical, especially when the market's so far up. Now, we didn't get the hike that I thought we might have a chance of getting, but I was still kind of right, because we got news of more hikes likely to come in the future. And it looks like, as ChatGPT said, that there is a pretty high chance that we actually see another hike in July. And remember, one pause isn't enough for a delay for us to see all the hikes effect on the economy already. Okay, so this already is not really justifying the pause. Okay, this is them trying to give the banks a close look to see if there's going to be a crash coming soon. They don't want to say it outright. They don't want to cause panic. They don't want to cause more bank runs, but that's really what this is about. And we can see that this news actually made the bulls blink for a minute. The algos also didn't like it, immediately selling off. And then yet again, we saw people buy the dip. And it's important to note here that we broke that 430 level that I was looking for as the most likely top before we start turning over. And, to me, it looks like we could make a closer run to 450. Now, I think that this is kind of a danger zone where we should be looking for a blow off top. 440. 444 is one that a few of the hedge funds that I talked to have told me is what they've pinned as the top, and they're looking for the turnover there. As we can see on the daily TTM squeeze, we aren't seeing that roll over. We can see that the RSI on the SPY index has finally become overbought. Of course, it's nowhere near exaggerated as other stocks. If we take a look at Tesla here, we can see that we actually touched a 90 RSI on this stock, and it is starting to roll over. Looks very bearish on the 1 hour as well. I talked to a lot of people who are holding calls in Tesla. I was saying, holy cow, you're being so greedy if you don't get out right here. A lot of them did. And I think that's a smart move here, is to be taking profits. Now, some people who are crazy, in my opinion, are still chasing NVIDIA, looking for a $500 target on this stock. And look at the weekly, not the yearly, the weekly, which is like a 3-year TTM squeeze, is crazy on this stock. And if we look at the RSI, we're at an 86 RSI for this stock. Last time the RSI got this overbought, we saw pretty much over a 50% decline in the stock price as a retracement. Do I think that it will come back that far this time with all the hype? Probably not. You know, in the dot-com bubble, it took 10 years for that technology to catch up to the promises that were made. I don't expect that type of lag with this technology because honestly, we just went over the ChatGPT bot. This technology is developing so much faster than anything we've ever seen occur. And I think it won't take that long. However, I still cannot find a way to rationalize this pricing no matter how hard I try. And I know some traders, they love this. They thrive in this type of FOMO and this type of euphoria and this irrational environment. I do not. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I've been trying to come in short and they keep taking my money and I keep having to set up these hedges, going for out the money, you know, strikes. So like if I was short, I was also short on NVIDIA, and what I ended up doing was buying $500 calls on this stock to play against my 380 puts, you know, very far out the money on my calls. So my puts bled, I think 20%, but my calls ended up making 40, 45, 50%. And I had to get out. I had to get out of Dodge. I came out with a small profit on this rise, but I just closed all the positions. I said, I'm done touching this. I don't want to play with your bubbles. I'm an adult. I don't play with bubbles anymore. I don't like it. That said, I'll just repeat. If it's your style, within your risk tolerance to trade like that, to chase this nonsense, go for it. Have a field day. But keep your finger on that sell button, because when this turns over, it's gonna suck, especially if you're in options. I could see contracts here probably just melting in their premiums as when this thing turns over, as everyone panics out. That's exactly what I expect to occur. Maybe this goes to 500. I don't see it as the most likely potential, but I also didn't see SPY breaking 330 as the most likely potential. I thought we were gonna turn over like here. That's what my expectation was, and I am, you know, taking some losses here. I've held my SPY shorts. Had those hedges set up, of course. I've closed out the individual names like NVIDIA. I closed out AMD on that news that Amazon's thinking about using AMD chips over NVIDIA chips. The big difference here is that AMD has a larger memory capacity than NVIDIA, which makes it more appealing for people who need large databases needed to run the AI technology. And so it makes them look like a better candidate. And, you know, this loser could end up being a leader. Maybe, could be, maybe. I'm not, you know, technologically savvy enough in this area of expertise to speak on that. But I will say that, hey, I still love biotech. I will keep holding biotech. You know, I think that's where the next AI craze is going to go, is when, you know, we start using AI to make these major discoveries in biotech. And I've had hedge funds reach out to me, ask me about this. This is what I've been telling them. I'm like, listen, this is my area of expertise. This is what I know could be the next big thing. They're telling me where can we go next to make money? And I'm like, this is what I think. All right. That's where my money's at. I put my money where my mouth is. I've been buying at the biotech stocks. I know the market could turn over. I know I could take some pain in the short term, but in 3 years, it won't even matter, because I'm expecting those to make these same parabolic moves that we're seeing now, except those will likely stay because we'll see massive breakthroughs in the biotechnology. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is CCJ. I don't know why TradingView keeps doing this to me. It's helping me restore connection. All right, I've never lost connection, okay? TradingView, we got a great thing going on. Tinder would have matched us. I don't know why you keep telling me this. But if we look here at CCJ, we had an awesome breakout here. A lot of people were messaging me on Twitter when this ended up hitting the highs. They're saying, can this go higher? Where's this going to go? And, I was telling them I'm looking for a small pullback to 30. We ended up touching that. As you can see here, I had 30.68. We ended up hitting 380. After I saw us bounce off that a few times, I said close enough, went ahead and rebought my calls into the close today and set those up. And I'm looking for this to go even higher. And, this initial breakout coming in here, 70% returns, 100% if you timed it well. Most of my contracts ended up giving 70%. I'm still looking at Uranium, and I'm still saying that this looks really bullish right now. Now, before we end this weekly report, I do want to talk about this news. JP Morgan Treasury Client Survey shows the highest long Treasury position since 2018. We called this out in the Discord. I also did a little bit of a write-up that I want to further break down here. And that's because TLT has had a nice consolidation phase right here. We've been talking about it a lot, how this will probably be the trade of the year. And I'm starting to get a little bit more short-term and a little bit more aggressive with the trade. Let me explain here, okay? We can see that it's also turning over on the daily. We can also think fundamentally what would cause this to come up. Maybe another bank failure. Maybe some people start to realize, oh, the recession's coming in. Maybe the Fed can't hike again now. Maybe this is what that pause was for. Hello, it's gonna get rough. Hey, why is all the OPEC cutting supply? Is it because they think demand's gonna go up with most cars on the road than ever and they're cutting supply? Does that make sense? Why shouldn't prices be going up? Why aren't they going up? Why? Because the recession's coming. And when the recession comes, I expect bonds to be one of the best trades of the year. And I think we're already starting to see an opportunity for that. And this is already looking bullish. Okay, why is all the smart money flooding into here? I think this is why. And so I've already started a small position here, but here's the strategy, right? I got some calls. They're dated for September. I don't expect this trade to play out longer than that. I'm looking for a 120 target. Okay, I'm looking for us to come up here to this retracement about 125. At 120, I'll take my profits, right? I'm not going to try to time this perfectly. I am early per usual, like I was early to come in short on the market. I'm going to be probably a little bit early to this, but here's the goal. I've already added, probably early, right? I'm going to add again at 104. Okay, we come in through this chop at 108. I'm going to add again, and then I'm going to look for that 120 target. I think that trade's set up beautifully. I think the fundamentals make sense here. The technicals also look ripe as well, and it's where the smart money is, yet it's still not crowded, okay? When someone calls me up that doesn't know anything about trading and they start talking about bonds, that's when I know I got to get out of Dodge. But right now, looks like beautiful setup. So I'm liking energy to the upside. I'm liking bonds to the upside. And that's what I'm seeing right now. And if you want to know what other stuff I like, because there is some other stuff that I'm bullish on right now that I'm keeping an eye on, make sure that you're in the Discord. And by the way, whenever I get approved, who knows when it's actually going to happen? Well, when I get approved to monetize my Twitter, I'm going to make a private Twitter, and then I'm taking the Discord private. So the only way you're going to be able to be in the Discord in the future is if you're actually a subscriber in there. And I know some people might not like that, but it also does mean that I'm going to take a lot of the educational stuff I have in the Discord. I'm going to put it on the website. Then I'm going to take the Discord private, use that as, a nice little congregation for us to talk about the different plays. So I'll talk about what's on the YouTube videos. You can come challenge me on my ideas and talk about them. And then the Twitter will be where I call out my trades in real time and provide those shout outs for what I'm doing with my money and talk about long-term stuff on there. And then that way there's a low barrier entry to see what I'm thinking in real time, but then there's also a different platform for us to communicate and talk it out, right? All right, so that's going to be coming in the future. I don't know when, because I've already been waiting for 2 months for the monetization approval from Elon. Come on, Elon. What are we doing? Are we you trying to make money or not? All right. I'm trying to help you make money. All right. You get a profit portion of those. Let's get it moving. I know I'm a small account, so I'm no priority. But hey, that's what's going to be coming in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this weekly report. I'll see you on the next one.